Smoked fish.
Huge shout out to the staff at Sabatini's, especially Dennis, who helped me get meat-free meals and still enjoy my dinner experience. That's it. Catering for those requirements. That's secrecy on Carib Deck. This is a shout out to me. That's nice. Shout out to Lloyd. Best of luck to you on your next assignment on the Caribbean Princess. Thank you very much. I do look forward to doing those long cruises. 9 sea days means I can be a lot more creative for the events I do, so it'll be a lot of fun. That's from Michelle on Carib Deck. This is, thanks Chad for taking care of us and for all the...
If you like Italian food or an Italian festival, the Italian festival's going on, and it's 3 streets up from Commercial Street, which is the street we're going to be driving on. So you would just have to walk up that sidewalk and you would come to the festival. We'll see a little bit of it when we do our city tour on our return from the Portland headlight. Yes, it is, I believe it's Newberry Street, India in Newberry. I will point it out because when we do our city tour of the East End, I'll point it out and you'll see all the Italian flags. It got rained out yesterday, so they're going to have it today and tomorrow, so yay. So they'll still have plenty of food left. Yum, yum. So this is the old port, and it's exactly what it says. It is an old port. Portland is the largest city in the state of Maine. We have a population of just over 68,000. And the entire population for our state is just over 1.2 million. And I bet many of you probably come from cities that have more than 1.2 million people. So I only have 3 requests. The first one is, if you have a cell phone, if you would put it on silent, that would be wonderful. My second request is that you try to refrain from speaking to each other when I'm talking so others can hear. And my third request is have a good time. I want to cover all the bases. So we have all these little side streets over here on the right-hand side of the coach. They all lead up to other streets that has all kinds of shopping and plenty of choices for food if you're not into the Italian festival. We have about 200 restaurants in about a 12-block area. Every cuisine that you can possibly imagine we have here in Portland, along with our 23 crosswalks. Some days I have to stop at every one of them. So you can see if you look up there to the right, all kinds of shops. Up until 1866, the street that we're riding on right now was actually part of Portland Harbor. We had a fire here in 1866, and after that fire they took a lot of the abandoned, burnt out buildings and piers, and they used it as landfill. So many of these buildings over here on the right have only been here since that fire in 1866. We'll talk a little bit more about that fire in a little while. So where do you folks go tomorrow?
Boston.
To Boston? Oh, is tomorrow your last day? Over here on the left, this is the Gulf of Maine Research Institute. They do a lot of testing of our shellfish here on our Maine coast. They test our lobsters, our clams, our mussels, our scallops, shrimp, any kind of shellfish, to make sure that it doesn't have what we call red tide bacteria. And even this week, a little bit further up the coast, they banned some of the areas for digging clams. They were finding that some of the areas did have red tide. And if by accident you eat seafood that has red tide, you can get very sick. You can even die. So it's nice to know that they are always checking to see what's what. Come on, folks, get behind me, get in the line. So we're going to make a big loop. That's going to bring us up onto the Casco Bay Bridge. We're on our way over to South Portland and then over Cape Elizabeth, home to the beautiful Portland headline. So as we get ready to cross the Casco Bay Bridge, if you look over on the left-hand side of the coach, you'll see that there's a marina over there and some oil tanks. There's a couple of little lighthouses. Also over here on the right, you'll notice that there are more oil tanks. We have large tankers that come into Portland to drop off either heating oil or gasoline. So the Fore River empties out into Casco Bay, which is where your ship came in through this morning. So you folks are heading to Boston. Did you originate from Boston?
Yes.
You did, okay. Perhaps some of you took a tour when you were in Boston, or maybe you're going to do that tomorrow. You probably already noticed that I have an accent. I have that New England accent. We tend to drop the letter R in a lot of our words. So you may be here in the summer. You may eat lobster or chowder. Did you go to Bahama? You didn't go to Bar Harbor on your tour, did you? No. Well, maybe you'll go to Harvard tomorrow, but you didn't bring your car, so you can't park it in the yard. So there it is. No R's in those words. But then we take a word like idea. I have an idea on how to change it. But we don't say idea. We say idea. I have an idea. So we're putting an R on the end of a word that doesn't have an R, but we can't put an R in a word that does have an R. And here in South Portland today, they're having art. We get a lot of school teachers retired and still working. Sometimes they're asking about the schools in the area. Our students here in Maine go to school September through June, not year-round. Coming up ahead of us, over on the left in a moment, these brick buildings. This is housing for seniors. I'm going to be pointing out quite a bit of housing today on our tour, a lot of it for seniors. Maine has a more senior population than any other state in the country per capita. Wow, what is all this crazy traffic? So this is Holy Cross Catholic School and Church, coming up on the left. Pre-K of a movie actress that was popular back in the 50s and 60s. And her name was Phyllis Thaxter. And that name probably doesn't mean a whole lot, but the best way to put a name to the face is Phyllis Thaxter played Superman's mother when Christopher Reeves was playing Superman. She used to star in a lot of Western movies opposite John Wayne and Gary Cooper and Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas. She was good friends with director John Ford. John Ford, of course, was a Portland native. And when Phyllis Thaxter moved out to California, he took her under his wing and helped her get many of the movies that she ended up starring in. So we're going to be leaving South Portland and heading over into the little community of Cape Elizabeth, Maine, home to the Portland Headlight. Cape Elizabeth used to be a farm, more of a farm town. No major industry at all here in Cape Elizabeth. But they are home to our beautiful Portland Headlight. Yes. Yeah, if you'd like to make a quick stop there, that would be great, Jerry. Thank you. We'll check out and see what all the nice rain did for all these flowers. We have a gentleman that he definitely is a horticulturist because every year his whole yard is just all flowers. The stairs going up to his house, you couldn't walk up those stairs if you had to. I don't know if he had a fire or how he'd ever get down those stairs. And then I feel bad for the house next door because they just have 2 hanging plants. I keep saying they need to just make a big sign that says ditto with an arrow. So that's going to be coming up just ahead of us here on the right. Jerry, I find it all depends on what the sun is doing on how much we get to see. And as fall comes along, they'll get real indented here. But look over here on the right. Look at all these beautiful flowers. Can you imagine? That's a lot of work. Then those poor folks over here next door, a couple of hanging, oh, they added some kind of a green plant there on the porch. Wow. They've done that in the last couple of days. Beautiful summer cottage style home here on the left. So very shortly we're going to be entering into Fort William.